name is Mirana. I am from Madagascar, and I studied economics in my undergraduate study, particularly macroeconomics, finance, and modeling. And currently, I am doing master in energy policy at the Pan-African University for Water and Energy Sciences in Algeria. I have learned a lot from Algeria because first let me tell you, when I received the admission from PAWES, like, okay, you are admitted for the Pan-African University in Algeria, there was the big challenge with my family first, like, are you really sure that you are going to Algeria? Because first of the difference between the culture, the religion, and since it's far as well, and I'm not really used to stay far away from my family as well. But when I came here, I found out that it's totally very different from what we thought before coming here. Like, we thought like Algeria, an Arabic country. Once we hear Arabic, we associate it with terrorism, insecurity. But once I came here, I feel even more secure than when I am in my country. In Algeria, you can, for example, just go around, you play with your phone. You cannot do that in the capital of our country. You lose everything, your money. But here, I feel very safe. And so I have learned first that you cannot judge something if you are not sure. You should experience yourself, or you should at least do more research about what is going on before taking a decision or losing an opportunity that you can get. And I have learned a lot also regarding Muslim religion, how people behave, Arabic countries, and I really like it, and I love Algeria as well, especially the desert. So yeah. Who is an ideal African? Okay. First, let me say that, yeah, I am from Madagascar, which is an island. So, in our country, we used to think like we are a part, like we are a side in an island, and when we talk about Africa, it's like it's something else there. So we are something else, and Africa is another part. But since I came here, I became more integrated, like, if we really want to develop Africa, we should have the mindset and the mentality first that we are one, we are together. So I think an ideal African is a person who have the mentality that in everything you do, in everything activity you do, like in your study, your job, your daily activities, you should think like what will be the impact in my community. And this community is not only your local community at home, it's not only your country, but it's the whole Africa. So everything you'll do will have an impact in the continent. And an African dream, I think it's already stated in the Agenda 2063 that the ideal Africa will be a prosperous and integrated Africa. So, yeah, I hope we will achieve that by 2063, that we will be united and we will be prosperous, not living in this extreme poverty anymore. I think I am passionate about making impact. Like, I am always asking the question to myself, like, what can I do? What can I do to make impact? Like, my existence will not be just I exist like that, but at least I have done something for the humanity. My country, in Madagascar, only 15% of the population have access to electricity. And I think that's the biggest barrier for our development, because access to energy is the cornerstone for the development of a country. So that's why I am here at PAWES today. Before In my people who knew me during my secondary study, every year when the professor asked like what do you want to do later in the future, I always used to say like I want to become an astronaut. Like at that time I thought like okay, I want to go to the moon and I want to explore the space. But when I really grow up, when I see the context in Africa, when I go to the villages of my grandparents, I see like the population are struggling to make ends meet. Like they don't have access to electricity, they lack many things. So I started thinking like I want something more real that I can have to see the direct impact, like my action drive this impact to these people. So I think that's drive me the most, the desire to make impact, direct impact to particularly rural population and improves their standard of living. Okay. First, I want to say that it starts since primary school. Like for example, when we were in high school, there are some students say like, what's the use of mathematics in our life? Why do we have to learn all this stuff? Like it's not useful. But sooner or later, most of them are applied in our everyday lives, but maybe we don't really see it, or we didn't have the occasion to use it according to our major or our skills as well. So I think what I am studying now is very relevant. I'm studying energy policy. So as what I said, like energy is very important for the development of Africa, especially the sub-Saharan Africa. So I think yes. I think that will be an ideal situation if we can really achieve that, like if we can invest in our youth. Because as I always say, the youth it's not only the future of Africa, but it's our present as well. So the investment in youth, especially in education, it's very important if we want to develop Africa. So yeah, investment in youth, like giving trainings, improving education systems, and empowering them, it will be the ideal situation that we can have. I think self-education is very important because first it will be the tool which will differentiate you from the others. Like even if you are studying in the same class, as we have discussed that the African education system, there is somehow an issue with that. So if you just only focus on what you get in class, you cannot have a difference, or you cannot have an asset compared to the others. So if you can self-educate, like educate yourself through research, or you do your own research. Now we have the internet, or you go to library and you read books so that you have more knowledge and also you know more about the reality. It will be a very good asset for you. And also I think self-education is in our everyday lives. You can learn from everywhere. You can learn from what people are doing. You can learn wherever you go. So you try to see always opportunity because life is learning. So you try to learn everywhere. My country, Madagascar, is actually, it's so sad to say it, but it's among the poorest country in the world in terms of economy. However, it's one of the richest in terms of resources, the potential resources, but it's not exploited. So currently the status is that more than 80% of the population live under the threshold of poverty line. There are many people who are struggling to survive. And as I said as well, in terms of electricity, for example, only 15% of the population have access to electricity. There is also high disparity between the rural area and urban area, since in rural only 5% have access to that electricity. So basically everything is the situation for now is not good, but as I said, we really have high potential to develop the country, especially in terms of energy. For example, we have high potential of hydro, we have oil, but it's not exploited yet. We have many mines that we can exploit, but it's basically in terms of we have issue with management, with political will, and also with the mentality of the population, which is related to lack of education. Ho antsika malagasy rehetra namana, indrindrindrindra fa ny tanora sy ny ankizy dia manentana antsika mba hianatra tsara, satria araky ny ohabolan-drazantsika dia ny fianarana ny lova tsara indrindra. Dia aza manarinary fotoana amin'ny zavatra tsy dia misy dikany na tsy dia mitondra makaiza, fa miazaha foana mianatra. Ary ny any am-pianarana, marina fa hoe mianatra ianao any am-pianarana, fa miazaha koa mampiana-tena, miazaha foana mitady opportunité ahafahanao mianatra, na avy amin'ny olona manodidina anao zany a, na avy amin'ny zao tsika zao angamba efa betsaka ny manana ny internet, ny Facebook sy ny rehetrarehetra, dia mazotoa mianatra avy amin'izay zavatra rehetra azonao ianarana. Such. After powers, yeah. Until now, I'm still thinking. I want to go more for research, so it means I plan to do PhD. But the question is like, am I going to do it right after powers, or I want to go more on a bit practical as well, to go to professional field, then pursue PhD after. But I just want to focus on energy sector and sustainable development, whether I will do research or I will go for professional. And basically I would like to work on international level, especially in African level, like Pan-African organization or something like that.